blocked by Ibaka! With no regard for human life!
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala.
Bruder to the basket. Finally!
Here goes Victor. Oh, Oladipo.
Big time play, big time play! Woo!
Hello and welcome to NBA Post Up. This is episode 2. My name is Cyrus Rogers.
And I'm Kaunda, Chama.
And we are going to go straight into it. The NBA season is here. The African podcast is representing. We are so excited. The first night.
Woo! What a night.
What a night.
Cyrus, were you at the edge of your seat or what?
Well, look, I started at the edge of my bed.
All right.
Went to the lounge, then ended up at the edge of my seat. Pretty much all the way through. It was just incredible.
And that first game, how did you view the first game?
You know, it's a crazy thing. Okay, so first game, Boston Celtics travel to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
It's Kyrie Irving going back home. The pressure's on. The fans are on his back. And then Gordon Hayward picks up a horrific injury. And I was like, oh my word. I mean, it's something else. It was just incredible. Not in a good sense, you know, but I think everybody else was just in shock. Great game, though.
Yeah.
Great game, though. But, I mean...
No, look, me too. You know, I was kind of shaken because, first of all, I look at the fall, I look at his leg, and I'm like, obviously he's going off.
Yeah.
But then I saw Kyrie take that leadership role. He called the guys together, they huddled up, and I said, okay, this is a disaster, but we can move beyond it. We've got a game to win here. Where in Cleveland's backyard, they've already got the upper hand. Now we just got, a dent, but still, let's play on. They did look rattled for a while.
Yeah.
There was a time they went down by as many as 18 points, but they clawed back, and I think it was all about heart at the end.
I think that was basically it, In fact, you saw it from both teams, and even the sportsmanship, Hayward was really in some distress. So, to see the likes of LeBron James really just go to his aid and try to show him that support. And even after the game, there's lots of reports about the players going in and really spending some time with Hayward and expressing their commiserations as well. But then in the game itself, you had these guys playing with all their heart. I mean, it was incredible. From the Cavaliers side, LeBron James had not been playing because he'd been, struggling with a bit of an ankle knock.
Yep.
And then he comes up with a near triple-double. So he's, 29 points, 16 rebounds. The king reigns.
Well, yes. I mean, he's been saying he's going to prove naysayers wrong this season. And I think that first game speaks, miles about what he's going to do.
No, definitely. And I mean, then you see just the effect that he has on the players around him. So Dwayne Wade didn't go off in the game. He had a solid game, 8 points. But then Derrick Rose.
Oh, my word.
Phoenix from the flames, the ashes. He just bursts out 14 points in the game, and you're like, okay, D Rose is back.
I think D Rose is another one of those players that had to do with naysayers, especially during the offseason when he moved to the Cavs.
Yeah.
And people were saying, why D Rose? You've got so many other choices. And he said, look, you guys are speaking as if I'm old. I'm still under 30.
Yeah.
I can still get back to my greater days that I've had in the past. And I think you saw he wasn't afraid to attack the rim. He was just going into the paint and saying, I'm going to lay this ball up. I'm going to get these buckets. I'm going to show you that I've still got that energy. I'm still athletic. And
I think that was incredible. Like when you look at Kevin Love, he also seems to have a new lease on life. You start the season with a double-double.
With a double-double.
15 points, 11 rebounds. I mean, that's just solid. And there's so little that the Celtics could do in response, but they gave it their all. So somebody like sophomore Jaylen Brown pulls in a heck of a performance.
Cyrus, you remember Jaylen Brown in the NBA Africa game.
Yeah.
He was here earlier this year, and he showed us that he can have a great season. And I think this is exactly what he's out to prove.
That is so true.
And I think if we may look at the Boston Celtics, it's a young squad, and it's got maybe 2 or 3 players that have come back from the squad that was there last season. So I think last night was a big test for them. They had a big piece in Gordon Hayward, but now he's got to be sidelined for a while. Now it's about what can you guys achieve? And I think they showed us what they can achieve last night.
No, definitely. I mean, Kyrie Irving, you mentioned his leadership capabilities. So then he goes and drops 22 points and passes 10 assists. And you're like, okay, I guess it's just Kyrie doing what he does in Boston now.
Absolutely. And the rookie. I know you've been singing Jason Tatum's praises since he got drafted. You saw the college tapes, and you've been saying, Kaunda, this guy is one of the future stars of the league. Yeah. What did you think of it last night?
Okay, so a rookie comes into the Boston Celtics team, scores 14 points, grabs 10 rebounds, even dishes 3 assists.
And he's away now. He's playing away. Yeah. He's in Cleveland. He's facing LeBron James head on. But this dude still put up a double-double.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really impressive performance. I think I read somewhere that he's only the second Celtic since Larry Bird to pull up a double-double on debut.
On his debut night.
I think the game was just fantastic, and it went the way it should have done. I think we expected the Cavaliers to beat the Celtics.
Absolutely. But we were still impressed by the margin that, the Celtics managed to close up.
Exactly.
That was impressive.
Exactly. And I mean, the second game of the evening was just... The Warriors thought they had it in the bag. I mean, Nick Young looks like he's been a part of that team from the formation of the Warriors in like the 1950s.
Absolutely.
He was just raining three-pointers galore.
Let's just call it what it is. He went off.
He did. And at Oracle Arena, I mean, that's what you do. So on ring night, the Warriors, they didn't get the result that they wanted, but it was good to see them back on the court. They're moving the ball around, and the big players did some stuff, though the Rockets showed they're here to play.
Absolutely, enough credit to the Rockets. They took the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was by 1 point, so it was very closely contested.
Very close.
But I think, whereas the Golden State Warriors had certain players that came big to build up those points, I think from the Rockets' perspective, I saw a collective effort to win that game.
No, that's so true. I mean, you look at the likes of P.J. Tucker, and you're like, P.J. Tucker scored 20 points. And then our guy, Lukumba Mute, he told us he's a two-way player. Man, he showed us on both ends of the court that he can perform. 14 points, he was just superb.
And James Harden does not disappoint.
James
Harden always shows up. I think for Chris Paul, if I may take it to the point guard, Chris Paul had a rather quiet night in terms of scoring.
Although he seemed to be struggling with a bit of an injury, and he was at the end of the game.
Absolutely. But James Harden, being the point guard stroke shooting guard, showed up impressively. But what about our main man, Clint Capella?
Clint Capella, okay, look, his plus-minus was not the greatest.
Well, it was not the greatest.
But it's all about impact and at the right moments. And 12 points is nothing to sniff at.
No.
Clint Capella, and there was some good stuffs. He also went on and got some critical rebounds late in the game, which is really where this game was won, because the Rockets actually out-rebounded the Warriors by 2 rebounds in the game. And I think there might even have been 2 offensive rebounds at the end of the game that led to the victory.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw the guys celebrating at the end. It was sort of like a shock, this excitement of sorts, a mix of the two. So you could tell that they thought, okay, they're in the Oracle Arena. This is the home of the Warriors. They're probably going to lose this, one out the gate. But no, they took it.
Even when they were down double digits and it seemed like all was lost. Is this the trailer for a movie? All seems lost. Down double digits, but they came back to win.
This is the Rockets. Could be. We'll put that in the blender. And I think I was not disappointed either by the performance of Sixth Man of the Year, Eric Gordon.
Eric Gordon was actually spectacular in the game, because every time somebody seemed to drop a dagger on the Rockets, he found a way to drive in the lane. He found a way to sink a critical shot. And he just kept going. And that was what epitomized the Rockets yesterday, was heart. One of the key performances, and I know that we watched the game using our Quest Play devices, was seeing how the Africans performed.
Yes.
And particularly, I think the star player from the continent was Lukumba Mute.
Last night, if you're giving out the best African player of the year, of the night award, it's definitely Lukumba Mute. He showed up, and he showed you, particularly Cyrus, that he's a two-way player. He's not only effective defensively, he's effective offensively.
I think he took more shots than he generally does. When you look at his field goal percentage, it was like 66.7%. So he was out there taking shots. He even went 2 from 3-point land. So Luke has been putting in the work on the offensive end, and it's paying off. And the Warriors and the Rockets trust him. That's the difference. Other teams might not have said who we're going to give the ball to. Now they're like, Luke, show us what you got.
And don't you think the fact that we're now able to watch so many games on the African continent due to the NBA's partnership with Kwesi Sports, watching the likes of Luke Mbamute, Clint Capella perform so well and having much more African players?
It definitely will. I mean, I remember we were talking about this recently. You know, the players that we watched and the times we used to watch games when we were young, you didn't see a lot of games. So it was the odd Hakeem game or the odd Dikembe game. And then you still had so much pride in your heart. Now we can watch the Rockets play the Warriors and we're like, okay, Clint Capella, we know you. Lukumba Mute, we know you. Even at the Celtics, Samuel Jele, we know you. And I mean, we haven't even spoken about the fact that Semi was playing for the Celtics last night. He might not have had the performance that he wanted, but you know, solid enough introduction. He's out there to try and get some defensive stops, and I think he did his work for the team. And it's important. And platforms like Kwesi, where you can get all your information, you know, whether it be watching the broadcasts or on the Kwesi app, or even, you know, just getting a Kwesi Play device and watching the games via the NBA app on that. There are so many ways to take in the NBA, even going to NBA.com. You know, we really are trying to bring the African audience into the NBA. Feasting on it like we would.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there is enough platforms, no matter where you are, whether you want to get it on a mobile platform, whether you want to get it on your computer, whether you want to watch it on your TV. I mean, the platforms are there. And I think from this year forward, African fans are going to get immersed in so much NBA content. And more importantly, the NBA Sundays games.
The NBA Sundays games are really going to be like a focal point of the week. You know, when you think about it, it's at prime time.
Yep.
You know, so that sort of sweet spot just after everything else is sort of finished, 10 o'clock, 10:30 Central African time, you get to watch NBA action this weekend, this Sunday. It's the Atlanta Hawks versus the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, that's a great game. We've got African interest in there, in the likes of Dennis Schroeder.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that's a game that we'll be looking forward to. What are you looking forward to seeing in the NBA Sundays game this weekend?
This weekend, I think more or less the Brooklyn Nets to me, because on the record now, I'm originally a Lakers fan, and seeing D'Angelo Russell leave the Lakers and go to the Brooklyn Nets, I just want to see what that young man will be able to achieve there, because I think Brooklyn Nets, as much as it's had a bad time, it's one of those teams that shall remain with a lot of potential to dig itself out of the hole that it is in right now. And I think they've got a nice enough squad to start that process of rebuilding. So, and then on the African side, of course, Dennis Schroeder. Once again, I'm going to mention the NBA Africa game. He was in Africa.
Yeah, he was.
He played on Team Africa. He was a great guy. I just can't wait to see him play. I mean, to me, I won't say he's on my top 5 point guards, but he's right up there.
You know, he's been one of those players for the last couple of years who I just love watching, because the energy that he brings to that team is incredible. And even so much so, where the Atlanta Hawks were like, okay, Jeff Teague, we loved you, but we're going to let Dennis run things. And he's been really good at what he does. He's got a young team now. You know, they've let go a couple of their key star players in the past. You know, the likes of Dwight Howard, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be in a tough spot. I think it's just a rebuild.
And when you look at Dennis, doesn't he remind you of a young Rajon Rondo?
He does.
From the long arms, from the way he crosses over, the pace at which he plays. And I think, given the right pieces, much like Rondo, he's got the potential to lead a team to the finals.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see, because I do think that he does. You know, when he's played for Germany in the past, you know, he's got the wherewithal to get things done right when given the right circumstances and the right environment around him. And I think that on Sunday against the Nets, he might be the focal point for the Hawks when they think, okay, fine, how do we get the win in this situation? I mean, look, off-court issues aside, Dennis Schroeder really can be the kind of player that can bring the whole team together if they're playing at his pace. But I think that the Nets have got some really great pieces. You mentioned D'Angelo Russell. I mean, the likes of DeMarie Carroll, he's on that squad. You look at
Timofey Mozgov. And that is a champion, by the way.
And I've always liked Mozgov. I mean, he's got a presence about him. And I think that if you can bring that to the Nets, that really changes changes things. And then even one of the guys that we met at the Africa game who was here, Rondé Hollis Jefferson.
Yep.
You know, really, really great guy. I think he's got the potential to be a really good NBA player going forwards. You know, this is his second year in the league, and he's just got a good head on his shoulder. So Sunday will be really exciting to see.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. I mean, like you said, it comes at a great hour. We got two young teams, replace some key pieces and put some new ones in. So I think it's going to be really exciting. And I think this is an opportunity for African fans to enjoy, basketball at a less vampirish hour, if you will.
No need to suck blood.
Yes,
you know, you can just go out there and watch it.
You can go watch it, yeah.
And you'll still be fresh for work the next day.
Absolutely.
And then what are you going to do at work the next day? You're going to talk about how well you did in the NBA mobile predictor game. You know, the fantasy game that Chris is bringing to fans, and that should be available soon. And just a chance for people to really also get their hands dirty with the game. You know, try to get a little bit more in depth with the game. We love watching them play, but let's raise the stakes a little bit.
No, I think the predictor game also gets people more involved. It's not just about watching it and about reading about it on NBA.com. It's also about saying, okay, now I can participate because I know that player, and I know this team and that team. So I think they're going to win, or they're not going to win, or this is going to happen. And you just see, you know, it sort of gives the fan a sense of ownership of the league, if you will, and it gets them more involved.
And that's what you want to be. You want to be involved. You want to be at the water cooler going, "Hey, Kaunda, how'd you do?"
Yeah, like this morning you could have woken up and written those rockets on somebody's.
Okay, look, as a Warriors fan, it was a tough L to take, especially when was the ball? Oh, okay, fine. It was really in Durant's hands. We just can't claim it. The Rockets, it was a great win for them. But that's exactly it. You know, you gotta be out there and give your colleagues and your friends a tough time.
Absolutely.
And also rejoice in how well you've done. Well, that's all we've got time for this week. But we will be back next week, Thursday, right?
Absolutely. It's the NBA Post-Up Podcast on Quest Sports. Brought to you by Quest Sports every Thursday. Make sure you log on, listen to us. We got some great news. We got some great opinions. We're going to give you some great
interviews as well.
Absolutely. We got a great interview that we might bring up next week, but we can't give you a name. We can't give you a name just yet.
Yeah, but look forward to that. From me, Cyrus.
And me, Kaunda.
It's been real.
See you in 7.